Genesis 45, and Joseph reveals to his brothers who he really is. And there's this moment of reconciliation. And I love, this isn't even what I want to talk about, but I love in verse 5, it's like he says, hey, don't be upset. Don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place. It was God who brought me here basically as salvation for you and your families, which is just so beautiful. It's like this perfect picture of forgiveness. And Joseph has met with God clearly and is able to reconcile what's going on, and he doesn't hold anything against his brothers, which is so powerful. But then Pharaoh finds out that Joseph's brothers have come, and it reaches all the way to Pharaoh, and he's like, hey, I want you to bring your father. And I love this in verses 18 and 20. It says, then get your father and all of your families and return here to me. I will give you the very best land in Egypt, and you will eat from the best that the land produces. And then verse 20, don't worry about your personal belongings, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours. And I read this and it reminds me of Isaiah 61, where it talks about how we will be given beauty for ashes, joy for mourning. There's this trade that is happening, and it is just such an amazing picture of God's provision and his goodness. Joseph had just told his brothers, hey, this famine is just getting started. There's 5 more years. There's a lot of hardship ahead of you, and yet God is still going to provide. The same is true even for us. When you're walking through hardship, God is still good. He's still going to provide. It doesn't mean that everything looks exactly how you want. I've been talking about this for several videos. I think sometimes we feel like God's not moving if things are not looking exactly how we want them to, and we don't have everything we think that we need or that we want. But that's not what this is. There's this exchange that happens. There's a salvation that is provided. Jesus is our ultimate salvation, and he exchanges ashes and he gives us beauty. He exchanges mourning. Beatitudes say, hey, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. This is what God offers. This is who he is. It was true in Genesis 45, and it's true today. Man, what if you slow down today? You recognize the exchange that's happening in your own life, how God is providing. Maybe you need to let go of some things where you've been holding on and seeking revenge. You need to let go and say, hey man, it's actually God who brought me to this place. Do something to make today count for something much bigger than just this 24 hours. Release what you need to release, trust God where you need to trust him, and see how he moves.